Sometimes it seems like our life is divided into three parts. The first is membering. The second is remembering. And the third is dismembering. Having been particularly hounded for a time, I sought oblivion in my own way. I went up to the tavern for some scotch. Up there on the hill. Stepped across the bartender's old dog, Max, who was always to be seen lying across the threshold, looking out as though he were waiting for the rest of his party to arrive. I stepped into the amber room and got my single malt and sat in my accustomed corner, nursing my drink like a fly in amber, looking out through the doorway at the whiskey-sour sunset. When the light went out, not down, but out, a shade filled the doorway. And I knew him at once. It was old, cold Mr. Grimm. Death had entered into the room. So I motioned to him to join me for a drink. He seemed surprised that I should see him there. And once the veil is torn, you can never patch it back perfectly. So I got another glass, and I got us a bottle, and we leaned against the bar, and I poured us each a shot, and we drank to nothing. It's a good toast when you're drinking with death. And when he put his glass down, it was frosted and full of fog, so I gave him another shot, and myself one too, and we drank again to nothing. And finally I had the courage to speak, and I said, "So, is this it? Have you come for me then? Am I to walk in your shadow from here on forth?" He said, "I don't know." I said, "Well, wait a minute here. You're the Grim Reaper. You're the end of the road. You're the last line, aren't you?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "So, is this it? Is it my time then? Is my life at an end?" He said, "How should I know? What makes you think I want to keep a daytimer? I'm a force of nature, for crying out loud. You people are so obsessed with your date books and your daytimers and your lists and your schedules. Such busybodies. How am I supposed to keep a record? I just go around. I just keep myself moving all the time, I go from here to there. I go up to the tavern, go down to the dock, see what's hanging down there. That's what I do. But my real job, what I really do, it's a mystery to me. Somehow it gets done. All the same, I don't need to know. Take yourself. You go around, you make your phone calls, you run your errands, you mail your letters, you go to the grocery store, you do all these things that keep you busy. That's fine. But that's not what you're really doing. What you're really doing is getting done, though, even if it's a mystery to you. That's why you're you. Take my friend the Ocean. He's a nice guy. You'd like him. Restless, this guy. Always busy doing something. I mean, he's tossing some boats around over here. He's calving some glaciers over there. He's eroding some shoreline over here. I mean, the guy is just tireless. Keeps himself busy all the time. But what he's doing is none of that stuff. But that doesn't matter. It's getting done anyway. That's why he's still the Ocean. I poured us each another shot. And I thought to myself, why do I always get into these conversations? He said, it ain't easy being a force of nature. Everybody wants to control you all the time. I mean, they all think they got a better idea about how you should do what you're doing. And I tell you something, being deaf is no picnic. I mean, I am the favorite straw man for every politic saint. Forget about lowering taxes. Conquering death, now that's something people will vote for. Of course, once they get elected, what do they got to do? Make good on their campaign promises. So, they go out, they cross some desert or cross some mountain, disappear for a while, you know what I'm saying? Come back all bedraggled, and they say they've conquered death, they've conquered me, and that all people have to do is do what they do, say what they say, and when they're dead, they're not dead. You figure that one out. He said, it's you storytellers, you guys, you make a lot of trouble for me. You gotta anthropomorphize everything. So you make up stories about me, right? Like that old chestnut you're always dragging around about how I adopt some poor man's kid as my godson. Well, you'd do me a great favor if you just stop telling that story right now. Because you know how the story goes. It's like this poor guy's got his kid and he wants a godfather, right? So he sees me on the road and he asks me to be the kid's godfather because I treat everybody fairly. So, okay, according to the story, adopt this kid as my godson. I teach him how to see me. I teach him that when I am standing at the head of a bed of an ailing person, they are destined to die and there's nothing he can do to save them. But if I'm standing at the foot of the bed, then they can be saved. And with this special knowledge, my supposed godson becomes a great healer. As if people only ever die in bed. And that's the way you storytellers would have it. Keep it simple. So, okay, he becomes a great healer, and his fame spreads far and wide, and so the princess gets sick. And he comes to heal the princess, and he falls in love with her, but he sees that I am supposedly standing at the head of her bed. She's got to die. But he is tricky, and he just turns the bed around. And the princess survives. And then, according to the story, I'm kind of vexed, so I take him down. You'd always have me be down, under the world somewhere, some gloomy cavern. And there I show him this infinitude of candles, some of them freshly lit, some sputtering out in the wax. And I explain to him, each candle is the measured life of every human being, and when its light is out, their life must end. As if I want to take care of all those candles? Give me a break. You know why it's candles, don't you? That's because long ago people would tell time by cutting notches in candles. Candle would burn down to 1 notch. Oh, it must be 1 notch. Down to 2 notches? It's 2 notches now. As if they couldn't tell time with their own eyes and their own heartbeats. You know what it'd be like if the story was told today. It'll be a cavern full of digital clocks. 0.07, 0.08, 0.09, 0.00, 0.01, 0.0. Now where's the beginning and the end of that? We had another drink. Toasting nothing. And then he pulled away and said, well, I think I'll go down to the docks, see what's happening down there. So I asked him one more time. Am I walking with you now? He said, I don't know. Suit yourself. You can come with me now. If not, I'll see you later. So I thought about it. I thought, to be or not to be? That is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. To die. To sleep no more. And by a sleep to say, we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. It is a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep. To sleep. The chance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. And there's the respect that makes calamity of so long a life, for who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns which patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his own quietus make with a bare bodkin. Well, I stayed behind. I guess conscience made a coward of me after all. But as he walked out, the bartender's old dog Max whined weakly and then fell still. His party had come round at last.